All right, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not the 2024 election was rigged. Now, unlike the 2020 election, who we had a very special person talk about it very often and how it was rigged, we're going to dive into the other side of things, if Trump's election was rigged or not. Technically, no. There is less than a 1% chance that all of the platforms online have shown that it was rigged. So Trump seems good by the online platforms and by the online worlds and the cybersecurity world and all of the worlds. But it seems that he definitely is still questioning whether or not it was rigged. Definitely in that address he did with the nation. That was around 3 weeks ago. So you guys can check that out and see what that was all about. But why did he win? What are 10 reasons that Donald Trump won the 2024 election? Well, COVID-19 definitely increased the prices, especially inflation. Insurance rose, house prices rose. Millions of Americans felt like it was unaffordable. Reason they voted for Trump? Probably very high. Immigration, our border was wide open, with some suggestions saying that 10 million people came across that southern border. That was a huge issue with a lot of people, not because we don't like people, right? We love people. We're people. We're people pleasers, right? But the main issue was, who are those people that are coming across that border? Now, we don't have a good answer. We still don't have a good answer, but they've been doing their best to get rid of a lot of the people that did come in during the 2020 to 2024 term. Trump famously said, "They're not sending the best." So it does bring in the question of who we're letting into our home, America. Home ownership, yes, the American dream for many younger Americans. However, it seems like a lot of people are starting to wake up and seeing that it's only a dream. That's a clever thing right there. If you can tell me who said that one, you get a prize. Not a real prize, a theoretical prize. But higher mortgage rates, limited housing supply, insurance costs, construction expenses, zoning restrictions, and years of underbuilding combined into one of the worst home ownership times ever. That's why they probably went with Trump, because they thought he was going to make better home ownership. Now, immigration, he did help. The home ownership issue, nah. The economy, it's one of the best economies, but a lot of Americans are still feeling the trouble today in 2026. So, why else did they vote for Donald Trump? Well, generally, they felt people in general, right? People in general. I'm not speaking about me, but the general consensus is that violent crime, retail theft, drug activity, and homelessness increased in all of the major cities. So that's one reason that they didn't want to pick a Democrat again, because generally Democrats are more about reforming criminal justice, letting people out. So a lot of people went with a Republican, and Trump was the Republican. The working class. I really don't like this statement because most of us are the working class, but let's just discuss what the statistics show. Pretty much Donald Trump was able to obtain the majority of the blue-collar votes. Why? Because economic concerns, manufacturing jobs, energy policy, trade, and cultural identity all played a role in that 2024 election, so he was able to achieve a lot of people with the blue-collar voters. Funny thing about Trump's voters is he also got a lot of Hispanic people, which a lot of people on the left-leaning side decided to negatively speak of this population side that voted for Donald Trump. They did not like that Hispanic voters voted for Donald Trump. So that's one thing. Young males were also voting for Donald Trump in record numbers, as well as a lot of urban communities, even though they generally tend to vote for Democrats. So he switched a lot of those. Leadership. Biden was declining very rapidly. A lot of people can admit it now. than they could back then. But going to the legacy media, they were saying Biden is the best he's ever been. He's the sharpest he's ever been. And a lot of people weren't seeing that in a lot of the debates, a lot of the public appearances. A lot of the time, Biden didn't seem like he was all there, and that's not opinion. It's the general consensus now. They didn't want to admit it back then, but during the 2024 election, a lot of people showed up and they didn't believe that Biden was a good candidate. That's why they decided to scrap Biden, and they went with Kamala. But Kamala wasn't well liked. She didn't do well in the 2020 presidential election when she was running against Biden. And Tulsi Gabbard kind of destroyed her in a lot of ways with her jailing, weed smokers when she's supposed to be a Democrat candidate who's pro-legalization of marijuana. So it just didn't look good on her. Just did not look good on her with those public appearances. Lastly, Joe Rogan played a pivotal role in the 2024 election because he got JD Vance and he got Donald Trump on his podcast. He was trying to get Kamala on, but her team decided to say he needed to travel. They could only talk about certain things, and that's just not how Joe Rogan does his podcast. Lastly, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada all switched over to Donald Trump. So he got the swing states. Why? Well, a lot of those swing states voters didn't feel like the Democrats were really fighting for what they believed in. And it doesn't matter how much you want to disagree with them. The fact of the matter is they weren't fighting for what they believed in. That's why they changed votes. And again, not all of them. They won with very marginal amounts, but those marginal amounts, it equated to a lot. It equated to Donald Trump winning the presidency. Some people are questioning whether this is a temporary shift or a permanent shift because generally Republicans didn't score that well with the working class. They went more with the Democrats. So I guess we'll see in the 2028 election, but at this point in time, this is where we're going. That's all I got for you folks. So if you want to comment, like, or subscribe, please do. If you want to see more of this content, please do. And if you have something that you want me to talk about that I'm not talking about, please do. I'll listen. I'm a great listener. I got big ears. I got a big nose too, so I can smell you. But that's all I got for you. I'll talk to you guys later.